Hello, it's Chrissy, and the September Didi's bead box has just arrived. I am so excited. I thought this was a CD. It reminds me of a CD when it came in the mail, and then I realized not many people know what a CD is anymore, but if you're from my vintage, you do know what a CD is. All right, let's open this guy up. I am so excited. This is my first Didi's Deluxe bead box. All right, let's see what's inside. Okay, this month's box theme is Vivid Orchids. I already love the theme. Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful it's packaged. Oh my gosh, these are beautiful colors. I'm so excited to get into this. Okay. So the Vivid Orchids, Inspire by Czech Designer Strand, is the first item. And it is a beautiful orchid pink. It has these teal with gold spacers. It has kind of a goldy yellow flowers. And then this is a darker, almost mustardy yellow with some pink wash on the big heart bead there. That's much better. Now you can really see the colors. All right, very beautiful. Okay, the next strand is a 7.5 inch 6x4 millimeter faceted natural apatite rice gemstone. Wow, this has the most incredible blues. I love apatite. I love the natural colors, the natural blues, and a little bit of shine in there. It's a very rich and deep blue. And the next strand is a 15 inch 4 millimeter natural matte apatite gemstone. A little bit of greens, a little bit of clear, some lighter blues, some darker blues, almost a navy blue in there, but kind of a brighter navy blue. All right, the next one is an 8 inch 10 by 8 Orchid Sea Sediment Jasper Barrel. Just an absolutely beautiful pink, pinky purple, or purpley pink with some natural veining going in there. I definitely think I've seen orchids this color before. Okay, and then we have 7.5 inches of 10 millimeter magenta purple crackle glass. But these are absolutely gorgeous as well. They look like they have little lights, lights inside of the beads. A little crackling in there. Our list is a 7 inch 15 by 10 millimeter electroplated purple blue crystal glass that's loose. Okay, here they are. And they again have Absolutely the most beautiful iridescence, purple and blue glow within. I do think it is the electroplating on the outside, but it looks like it's just glowing from the inside out on these beads. Just so sparkly, so gorgeous. Look at that, just beautiful. 13-inch 6x4mm deep apatite blue with gold edge rectangle crystals. Oh my goodness, I love this. I love the gold edging on this. Wow, that is, I love the flat cuts on the bead, and the gold edging just makes it so elegant. I absolutely love this bead. And again, it's that deep, kind of a bright navy blue. Okay, then we have a 15-inch 4mm electroplated silver deep magenta crystal rondelles. And that would be these guys. Super pretty. You know, I think they match the crackle beads really well. Just beautiful. Okay, then we have 9 inches of 7x5mm AB Tuscany yellow bow-shaped crystals, and they are loose. Oh, and there are these sweet little, these bow ties, is that what they're calling them? Oh, bow-shaped. They look like little bow ties. They're very faceted. They have the high shine. I'm loving the yellow contrast with the apatite color, that dark blue, that dark bright. It's like it's hard to explain, the bright navy, and then the yellow with the magenta colors and the purples. Beautiful pairing there. And then we have 15 inches of a 6x4mm AB purple apatite crystal rondelle. Oh, this one is just gorgeous. Just the blue and the purple mix. I love it. So pretty. And then we have 15 inches of a 2.5mm meadow mix in mini crystals. And here is that sweet mini meadow mix of crystals. 2.5mm. Super tiny. Super sweet. Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful this palette is. Then we have 40 pieces of 5mm AB lilac resin bellflowers. Okay, 5mm. They're little itty bitties. Look at how tiny these little flowers are. They have the AB in the center, in the front of the flower. They are matte on the back. And they have the hole through the center, and they are just so delicate and so cute. They're like the little orchid petals and leaves that you'd see. 6 12mm gold stainless steel hexagon charms. These are fun. I cannot wait to wire wrap them, add little beads. Oh, maybe make earrings and then have dangles off of the edges of these hexagons. Oh my gosh, you could use these in bracelets. I love these. You have so many options. And then for size comparison, we get two 20mm gold stainless steel hexagon charms. Okay, these are definitely asking to be made into earrings. I want to put dangles on them. I want a wire wrap with beads up the sides. I love these. I love the shape. These are going to be so much fun to play with. And then as a bonus, we have a 3-piece 15mm gold stainless steel hexagon Queen Anne lace dried flower connector and earring set. Okay, I don't know if you can see this on the white background, but they are post earrings with, I think, is this resin? I think a resin hexagon dangle with a flower in the middle. I think this is the Queen Anne lace flower. Just beautiful. So delicate. Are so intricate, but they are 15mm, so they are very petite. So not heavy at all. Perfect for earrings. And then the other bonus item is a third dried flower connector. Oh, I love this one, and it does have 2 holes, so you can use that as a connector. How sweet is that? This is the September 2025 Didi's Deluxe Bead Box. So excited to start designing with it, and I will be back with something to make together. We are going to make these 2 earrings together. Here's one of them. It has 2 of the deep apatite blue rondelles. It has 1 Tuscany yellow bow, and then 1 of the 2.5mm Meadow Mix mini crystals as a dangle off of the longer dangle. And then the other earring has the gold edge rectangle crystal, and then a double jump ring, and then the vivid orchid inspired by Czech designer strand. There's a blue crystal, the yellow leaf with a gold kind of sparkly, a gold sparkly wash, and then again that 2.5mm dark apatite crystal at the bottom. So those are the 2 earrings we're going to be making together. I did come up with a third. I don't have all the materials. The chain that I wanted to use with it is still coming in the mail, so when it does, I will do my third earring. So for these 2, we're going to use round nose pliers, a few chain nose pliers, flush cutters, and if you want, you can also use these nylon pliers. We'll be using 22 gauge and 20 gauge gold soft flex craft wire. And I think that is it. So let's start off with this guy. I'll be grabbing 2 of these blue rondelle beads, 1 of the 2.5mm crystals, and then 1 Tuscany yellow bow bead. So I put this together with simple loops and then 1 wire wrapped loop at the end. And we're going to be doing the simple loops with the 20 gauge and the wire wrapped with the 22 gauge. Okay, let's zoom out. With the 20 gauge wire, I am going to straighten the wire. I'm going to load my beads on. Okay, I'm going to flush cut the end. All right, for the simple loops, we're going to take our round nose pliers. We're going to put the wire in the middle of the pliers, almost 1/3 of the way up, just far enough where it's not poking out so I can't feel it. I can't feel the edge of the wire, but you can see the edge of the wire. And then you can begin the simple loop, and I'm going to just start turning it and then grab the end of the wire again at that same spot and complete, whoops, and then complete the simple loop. I'm going to grab the chain nose pliers. I'm not going to close it all the way because we do have to connect them to each other. We have to connect the loops to each other. So what I will do though is go back into the loop. The end of the wire hits the main wire. I'm going to rest this bottom plier, and then I'm going to put the bend in the simple loop. And then you can see that you get a really nice angled simple loop. I'm going to flatten it out and slide the first bead down. And I'm going to cut our simple loop and bead away from the main spool. I'm going to face my flush cutters this way so I can get a flush cut. Give myself a little bit of space here so we can have enough wire to make our simple loop. About right there. I'm going to make this next loop in the same direction as this loop. So I'm going to turn it this way so it's flat towards me. And just like we did, I'm going to put the wire in between the round nose pliers, but again, so it's not sticking out so far that I can feel it at all. And then with that loop facing me, I'm going to turn the pliers. You know what I forgot? I'm going to bend the wire back first. So first, before you do that, bend the wire, and then now stick that wire in between the pliers. Make sure you can't feel the end of the wire. And now you're going to wrap it towards or away from yourself, but we're going to create that simple loop. And you know, sometimes it's going to be a little too far forward, so we're going to fix that just by bending it back and closing the loop. There we go. And let me just line these loops up. Okay, and there we go. There's our first connection. All right. The next one is the yellow bow. And where did I put him? Oh, he's on the spool because I said that I was going to put them on the spool. So there's the bead. Okay. Looks like I already lost the bead. Found him though. Okay, so we're going to flush cut the end again. All right, now with our flush cut end, do the same thing. Put the wire in between the pliers, almost a third of the way up. Make sure I cannot feel that end. Turn it away or towards you, whatever feels most comfortable. I'm going to readjust it so I can grab the end and complete my loop. And then stop when the wire hits the end of the wire hits the main part of the wire. Go back inside of the loop. Then I'm going to put the bottom jaw of that plier basically parallel with the inside part of that wire, and I am just going to bend it back, and you get a really nice shaped simple loop. So with that, I'm actually going to attach. I'm going to close this loop that I left open because I don't need it now. Okay, he is closed. I'm going to work hard on him. I'm going to add him to the end of this simple loop. I'm going to swing it open, add our first section on, and swing our loop closed. Just a little work hardening there. And then I'm going to close this loop. So just gently give it a little tiny squeeze to ensure that it's closed. Okay, and then one more squeeze to make sure it's flat. And we're going to slide the yellow, Tuscan yellow bead down. I'm going to cut it away from the main spool. Flush cutter facing this way so we get the flush cut on the bead. Give us enough space there for our simple loop. We're going to face the loop towards the direction we're going to make this next loop. So I'm going to bend the wire away from me. And then I'm going to come in with the pliers like we've been doing. Grab the end of the wire about a third of the way up. Make sure that it is in the middle but not too far forward so it's not, you can't feel the end of it. And make our loop. Okay, so there's our two simple loops on the yellow Tuscany bead. I'm going to close it because I have another blue section to add. We're going to flush cut the end. And repeat. Grab the end of the wire. Make our loop. Stop when it touches the main piece of the wire. Okay, I'm just going to work hard on it a little bit. Go back in to the plier parallel with the inside of that wire. I'm going to bend it this way, and we get this really pretty loop. The only thing to do is to work hard on it. Look at how nice that turns out though. Okay, I'm going to just swing it open and add it to the bottom of our yellow bead. Close our loop. Slide our second to last bead down. All right, we're going to cut away from the main spool. Okay, and now I'm going to just make sure this loop is all the way closed. So with the loop, I'm going to make this next loop in the same direction as this loop. So again, with the loop facing me, I'm going to bend the wire away from myself. Grab the end of the wire, about a third of the way up, making sure it doesn't go past so I cannot feel that end in the same direction that this loop is going. I'm going to bend the wire, create this loop, so making that wire bend towards me. Adjust the pliers and keep turning. Okay, there's our third link. Now we're going to switch to the 22 gauge wire to get our very last dangle on. Up the wire, give myself, I don't know, 1.5 inches, maybe. Bend it in a 90-degree angle. Turn the pliers so that they're resting in that bend. And then I'm going to bend it towards me and around the plier. And then we're going to, let's see, take a look at our loop and adjust to make sure that it is the shape we want it to be. And it's always important to get your loop in a good shape before you start to wire wrap it, because it's harder to make any adjustments to your loop after you start wrapping. So now, swinging that loop open, we're going to add it to our dangle. Close the loop. I'm going to grab the loop with the chain nose pliers, and then I'm just going to wrap around. I'm going to use those smaller ones. And then I'm going to wrap around the wire. And I can't remember how many times I went around. Okay, looks like I did 2. So that is plenty. So I'm going to tighten the loops by just giving the loops a little squish. It makes the loops more, a little neater. Okay. We're going to cut off that end. Now I'm going to press this wire, the pokey part of that wire, down so it's no longer sticking out. All right. All right, we're going to feed the bead down the wire. And at the very bottom of this wrapped loop, all I did was a fold over for the head pin, so I don't need very much wire at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to cut away from the main spool. And I think that's too much wire, so I'm going to cut more away. Oh, that's where I lost my bead. Okay, let's try this again. Let me see. Okay. I'm just trimming a little bit off. And then I'm going to take the very end of this wire, halfway up. I'm just going to bend it in half. And then we're going to just press it down to create the head pin of this wrapped loop. All right, and there we go. And there is our second earring. You can add it to a French wire or a hoop. But I just really like that combination, and they're very lightweight. I think they're very pretty. And here's the other earring. So we're going to be doing 2 wrapped loops, a double jump ring, and then another wrapped loop, and then a loop at the very bottom. So we've already done a wrap loop together. So I pre-made this one. It has the wrapped loop at the top and the bottom, and it's attached to the double jump ring. And then it has 2 gold seed beads. And then we'll do this one together, which is the bottom. And it's again a wrap loop, and we're attaching to those double jump rings. All right, so for this one, we have to get into this Vivid Orchids designer strand. Okay, so we're going to have this gold bead cap, this blue crystal, and then the yellow flower, with another one of the 2.5 millimeter blue apatite meadow mix mini crystals. The 22 gauge craft wire, we're going to be doing a wrapped loop, and I prefer to use this one, this gauge. It's a little easier for me to do wrap loops. If I'm doing 18 or 20 gauge, I like to do simple loops. So we're going to flush cut the wire, and we're going to load our beads. So starting with the 2.5 millimeter crystal, the yellow check glass leaf, the blue crystal, and then the gold bead cap for the top. We're going to start with a wrapped loop. So I'm going to go down about 2 inches here, about 1/3 of the way in, make my 90-degree bend away from myself, turn the pliers just so that it rests right in the bend, bend the wire towards me and under, adjusting just a little bit until we get that desired loop. We're going to swing this loop open and add it to our double jump ring. We're going to close the loop. I'm going to grab the loop with the pliers. Now I'm going to, how many loops did I do? Here, it looks like I did 2 or 3-ish, so I will go for 3. I'm going to wrap around. So 1, 2, and 3. For some reason, my loops are not turning out as even as I normally like to have them. That's okay. What we can do is go in and give it a little squeeze on both sides of the wraps, and that'll just tighten them up and give them a lot more uniformity, so that you do have a really nice wrapped loop. We're going to snip the end. I'm going to tuck this end, this freshly cut end, in towards the wire, so we have no pokey bits. There's our wrap loop. Going to push all of our beads down, and the blue guy too. And I did a little tiny loop at the end of this one. So got our loop. We have our wire straight. I'm going to cut away from the main spool. This is a tiny little loop, so I don't need much. Did I do the loop in any specific direction? I did the loop in the same direction as the wrap loop, so I will try to keep that consistent. So with the loop facing me, I'm going to bend the wire away. Take my round nose pliers grab the end. Again, make sure it's not poking out too much. Create our loop. Around we go. Closing the loop there. Give me a little work hardening. Careful not to crunch your beads. Now we have the loop in the same direction as our wire wrap. I thought that would be fun to do a double jump ring, just for a little bit of variation there. Now to attach it to our hoop, I am going to use a jump ring. So this is a 6mm jump ring, and I am just going to swing it open and add our earring dangle to the jump ring. I like to make sure that it is touching, so you have to wiggle it back and forth a few times to get it nice and closed. A little work hardening there. Okay. And add it to your French wire hook or your hoop. And there's our second pair. Same color scheme, just a little different. All right, so those are our 2 earrings. I will show pictures at the end. I hope you guys had fun. I'll talk to you later.